All-pervading is the great Tao. It may be found on the left hand and on the right.
Hmm.
Hey, welcome back to another Tao Te Ching reading with myself, Mark. And
Adam,
did you forget your name for a second?
I did.
Okay,
I did. It's a
I'll
very
remind you
fluid
next time.
thing.
And we are here to read and interpret the Tao Te Ching. Today we're going to do number 34. All-pervading is the great Tao. It may be found on the left hand and on the right. All things depend on it for their production, which it gives to them, not one refusing obedience to it. When its work is accomplished, it does not claim the name of having done it. It clothes all things as with a garment, and makes no assumption of being their Lord. It may be named in the smallest things. All things return to their root and disappear, and do not know that it is it which presides over their doing so. It may be named in the greatest things. Hence the sage is able in the same way to accomplish his great achievements. It is through his not making himself great that he can accomplish them.
This one's really subtle. This one's really talking about that like deep subtlety. Um,
So yeah, I'm reading from the James Ledger version. He is known for being very esoteric and very cryptic in a lot of his poems and interpretations, but there may be some other versions out there that weave in a little bit more clarity than this one. Do you have a version that
I
does some
do.
different things?
I do. But I have one line that I would love to have you repeat. Maybe you
Yeah.
repeat it after I'm done, but there's a line about the clothes, like wearing clothes.
It clothes all things as with a garment and makes no assumption of being their Lord. It may be named in the smallest things.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
So it is an
Um,
interesting concept of like clothing, like wrapping this kind of security blanket almost or something, um, but not
yes.
saying, "Hey, I gave you these clothes, so now you owe me."
Yeah, and it's also like not taking over because they're just garments. Like people can take them off or put them
Right.
on,
It's
take
not
them
like
off,
a
right? Like,
skin.
yeah, they're not really eternal, although they have this eternal nature to them. But at the end of the day, in the world of changing things, they're still just garments. I think that's really interesting language. Um, this is the Stephen Mitchell translation for 34. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it and it alone endures, it can be called great.
Mm.
It isn't aware of its greatness, thus, it is truly great.
Ah, it isn't aware of its greatness, therefore it is truly great. I like that.
Yeah, that one is really interesting because it really kind of like syncs with something else I've been thinking about, like this sort of like this interplay of like being and doing or like awareness and being itself, just existing. It's really interesting that this kind of like is pointing to how awareness, which is often in these in spiritual circles like a very like, prized thing, is kind of talking about it in a different way here where it's saying like it isn't even aware of its greatness, thus it is truly great. Like it's not reveling in what it's doing, it's just doing. And it's really not even doing, right? It's kind of really more like what we might call like being. Um, and yet, because it says all things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. So it's sort of like this ongoing process almost, but that one that isn't so tightly controlled. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Wow.
kind of reminds me of number 79, where it says at the end, she does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. And it's
Uh-huh.
kind of that aspect of, like you said, being or doing for the sake of being or doing, not for the sake of recognition or pride or
Hmm.
reciprocation. that kind of you scratch my back, I scratch yours thing. It's like, well, hey,
Yeah.
you just need me to scratch your back. I'd be happy to help you, and then I'll go about my
Yes.
day.
Yes. And I find this whole conversation about greatness really interesting, where it's like it's really bringing us into a new understanding of greatness, which I feel like really is interesting in like the culture that we're from, like American culture, where greatness is like, like the GOAT, right? The greatest of all time.
Up
Like
on
it
like a
shows up,
pedestal, right? Being
yeah,
the
like up on this
best at
pedestal.
something.
And this is saying like the true greatness of the Tao is that quote in the Mitchell quote, translation quote, it's since it's merged with all things, it's hidden in their hearts, and then therefore it's humble. Like the greatness of being so small and so subtle, and so omnipresent in all things, large and small, so-called significant or insignificant, right?
Yeah, this
Wow.
speaks to a common theme in this book, The Tao Te Ching, of this humility and humbleness and not looking to strive to be the best or the top. And we've seen this in the valley and peak motifs that have come across before. And a nation should be led from the valley,
Mm-hmm.
where the water collects the chalice,
Mm-hmm.
that the feminine, right? The inwardness, the
Mm-hmm.
immanence versus the outwardness and the highness. And that's how we
Mm-hmm.
place a lot of these authorities, whether it's political or religious, up, right? Atop, above us, looking down upon us, and we look up to them versus authority really should be looking up to its quote subjects because we are the divine, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are great just by being, not by
Mm-hmm.
striving to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of even like number one, where it says the eternal name cannot be named. It's like as soon as you start putting these ideas on something, you kind of lose the essence of what they already are because you're not
Mm-hmm.
feeling into that existence that
Mm-hmm.
is already inherent in all things. And you're looking outward to try to describe or to figure out or to place or to be something else versus just you already are wonderful and amazing and great as you are. Just recognize that and be. We talked about authenticity too. Be authentic,
Mm-hmm.
be your true self.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes greatness. Not this
Mm-hmm.
striving to be like this idol or this icon or this role model that is someone else that did their
Mm-hmm.
thing that you're trying to just follow in their footsteps. We see this in the familial sense too, having to follow in people's footsteps and fill big
Mm-hmm.
shoes. And so we need to just kind of recognize ourselves. And the line is, the sage, and we talk about the word sage as being like a wise one, right? The sage, to accomplish his great achievements, it is through not making himself great that he can accomplish them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the way, that is the Tao, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that perspective. I mean, I think it's beautiful and beautifully said. And yeah, it sort of allows when you kind of get to that space, it allows the sort of the Tao to emerge and for you to be in that co-creative space with the Tao, and kind of become the Tao in some ways, right? Versus becoming the distortions of
Yes,
life on Earth.
yes, good word, distortions. We
Hmm.
see that a lot for sure. Anything else you'd like to add for number 34?
No, no, this was a great one.
All right. Well, as always, we'd love to hear what you think. Please drop us a line in the comments, like and subscribe, and keep the conversation going. Until then, see you next time and be well. Thank you.